Yes, guys, how's it going? So as I record this, I think we have about 8 weeks left of the year. 8 weeks left of the year, but really and truly 7 to 6 weeks left of kind of like year that we'll actually be working, if you get what I mean. Effective weeks. So in this video, I am going to be going over 5 things that you should be focusing on or building or improving inside your coaching business to be able to maximize 2025. Because it's around this time that people start slowing down a little bit. They start to, the nights are longer. It gets darker much quicker and people are starting to slow down a little bit. They start to relax, take their foot off the gas. They expect not many clients are going to come in. But really, this is the time when you can be not only signing clients. We can have our best months in these months if we're clever with it. Not only that, but building the things that are going to be required to crush next year. And this video is actually going to be useful. Sometimes you see these videos, 5 things, and it's things you've either heard before or it's just like not that useful. This one's going to be very, very useful because this time last year, I did these things. I've been exactly where you've been, right? Or maybe you are. I've been in online business now for about 9 years, online coaching business. And so many of those years, I would finish the year or, it comes around this time or actually more so around Christmas time. I'm looking at next year and I've got so much excitement for the year ahead. I'm so excited. I think this year is going to be the year coming up. I'm going to change everything. This is the year that everything's going to grow. Everything's going to change. And I'm excited for that kind of like quantum leap to a whole new level of growth. And, then it comes around this time of the year, a couple of weeks left of the year, and you start looking back and realizing, nothing really changed. Maybe there was that little slight bit of growth. Most of the time there was that little slight bit of growth for me, but there was no quantum leaps, And this year has been a quantum leap. This year things have extraordinarily grown from where they were before. Some months even 6 or 5.5 times, let's just say 6 times higher than the month in the prior year, if you get what I mean. Things have gone well, basically, And it's because this time last year, I sat down, I got my head down, I locked in, and I worked on these 5 things that I'm about to say in this video. So before I get into those, I want to talk about what most people do and what I was doing when nothing was really changing, right? Because this is really important. So, as I said, get into the year. I'm excited. I'm going to change everything this year, everything like that, yeah. And what would I be thinking about changing? And this is what most people are. I was thinking about new content platforms. So I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to jump on YouTube. I'm going to jump on this. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to start to dominate that platform. Number 2, I was thinking about different content types. So I was like, okay, well, reels are doing really good. These specific kinds of reels, maybe I'll get someone editing my reels, and that will really stand out. That will really help me grow. And then third and final, I was thinking about quantity, not quality, right? In a lot of ways. Meaning, I was thinking, for example, I'm going to get really hard on the outreach. I'm going to be, messaging so many more people throughout the week, starting way more chats and everything else. So across the board, this was all thinking, quantitatively, not qualitatively. Thinking about how can I do more of this stuff versus how can I do better stuff, really, And the problem with that is if things haven't really worked and they haven't really worked as well as we'd like, more of the same, if the content, everything that the content's built upon, your messaging and everything else, if we just do more of the same but on different platforms, it's not really going to do much. If what's behind the content, so your conversion systems, your offer and everything else, if they're not really working as well as you'd like, more content in different types of content and stuff isn't really going to solve the problem either. And then finally, again, if all of these things aren't there, the message, what you're actually selling, all of that kind of stuff, if they're not really doing the results that you want, more outbounding, starting more conversations it may get you a couple of more sales, but it's not going to have that quantum leap effect that you want to have. So last year, I finally realized that, really started to look and understand. It was a little bit before this time last year, and I really started to understand the actual things that really make a difference in your business. And this is really exciting, by the way, if you're here watching now and you're listening and you're relating to a lot of the things I'm saying. This is exciting because this means that potentially up until now, you've kind of put your efforts and looked in the wrong place, which is actually a good thing, because that means that just shifting your efforts, just shifting your attention to the right place is going to change everything for you, right? And that's where we are. That's where we're here. So there's 4 things that really do make a difference in the business. And then we're going to look at the 5 things that you actually need to focus on moving forwards. So the 4 things that actually, everything stems from, that makes a difference for everything, is your offer, your model, your messaging, and your strategy, right? When we actually change these things, everything else that we just talked about, your outbound messaging, your conversation starting, your the content that you're putting out, all of that stuff shifts anyway, because everything comes from here. So let's get into it. The 5 things that you need to build, work on, or improve to be able to maximize 2025. You will be able to do all of these things before 2025 in these next 6 weeks if you lock in and do the work, and you'll be in a tremendously different place in around, 4 or 5 months. So I have everything on the iPad. Chose not to get the older iPad up today. I just thought let's just get it up. So starting with number 1. This is the work desk, by the way. Wake up every morning, start getting stuff done, writing my email for the day. Anyway, got a little. This is what you're going to be standing on today, by the way. This bookshelf. Anyway, number 1. Number 1 out of 5. Optimize your offer. Let me turn you around. Let me get you back to me. So, optimizing your offer. Let me get you up a bit. Whoa. 1 sec, guys. No worries. Don't know how to move it. Yeah, so optimizing your offer, right? Number 1. So, why is this so important? Because if you think about it, up until now, you haven't had the results you want. Even if you've been growing, even if you're making a nice amount of money, even if you're at a good spot, you still haven't had that quantum leap that you're looking for, right? And in a coaching or consulting business or education business, sorry, my ear really itches. It's itched this whole time. Anyway, that was distracting me so much. It continues to itch. Anyway, coaching, consulting, education business, the offer, which is what you actually sell, is the most important thing possible in your entire business, right? Because everything leads back to your offer. This is what I always want to make sure everyone understands. Everything is a roadmap back to offer. Your lead magnets, your customer, your micro offers that we do, and we're going to talk about those later, your content, everything leads back to the offer. I once had a year working with an ads expert, right, a couple of years ago, and basically I didn't realize this, he seemed to not realize this either, but my offer was shit. And I put hundreds into ads, an entire year of running different ad strategies, coming to different things. I got people on my list, I got people in front of me. By the end of the year, I was making less money per month because my offer was shit. So it doesn't really matter about anything else if your offer's shit. So the first thing is to optimize your offer. How do we really optimize your offer? What do we want to be looking at? Number 1, we want a unique offer, right? Let's take fitness coaches, for example. There's so many of you. and this could be really any niche. They're all fucking saturated by this point, aren't they? There's so many of you, right? So if you're just trying to sell the exact same thing as everyone else, and you're just relying on them liking you more than the next person, you're going to have a bit of a hard time. We want a unique offer with unique angle to it. So you actually have ideas to sell, and that's going to be covered in the next thing. But you need a unique offer. Next thing, you need it to be clear and you need it to be precise, right? People don't buy things that they can't actually see and understand. When I talk to, when I take offers and I improve them for coaches, by far the biggest thing is just lack of clarity. Abstraction in an offer kills the offer. If there's any abstract language that people don't fully understand, even if you say grow your business, right? That's abstract because how much by blah, 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 blah. Any abstraction kills the offer's conversion. So look at your offer. Is it specific and tangible? Is it unique in either the what that you do, which is like the outcome, the way that you do it, so the way that you actually are able to get that result, or the why, so who they become on the other side, the values that are within this offer, right? Is it specific in any of these areas? And yeah, is it easy to understand, right? Your offer, we get it to the point, right? Inside the Aligned Creator, we get it to a point where the offer is black and white on a document, on a Google document, and that sells itself, right? People look at the document and then they pay our creators money, right? They join. When you're in a position like that, every single other part of your business gets 10 times easier, because now the game is just, I need to show this offer to more people. How do I do that? Right? More qualified people. That becomes the game at that point. How fun would that be if you knew that your shit sold and you just had to show it to more people? And the power of an optimized offer, and why that is absolutely step number one for anyone, is the fact that everything else stems from this, right? If you've got a great offer that's working, then you know what to talk about in your content. Then you know what lead magnets to do. Then you know what micro offers to do. Everything works from a good offer. So optimize your offer. Is it converting? Is it clear? Is it specific? If it's not, then usually the first place that I'd look is, number one, how can we specify it? Like, how can we make it more tangible and more specific? And then number two, how can we make it smaller, right? So most of the time things are vague when it's a really long offer. Like if you're trying to sell like a 6-month, 12-month thing, which there's nothing wrong with that. It all depends on who you're selling to and everything else. But often, let's say it's like a 12-month or a 6-month thing. There's often so many levels that client actually goes through, so many new levels of sophistication where they finally start to understand the next thing and the next thing, that it's very hard to sell them on all those ideas at one go. But you can sell them on the first idea, maybe first 10 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and then sell them on the next, or just get them recurring revenue and then continue working through. So number one is optimize your offer. And if you have a look through my entire channel, there is a lot of stuff on offer building. I'll put some in the chat. Anyway, in the chat. It's not a chat, is it? What is it? In the description. Anyway, that's number one. Number two thing to focus on this next 6 weeks or so before the year starts. Or even if you're watching this later, even if you're watching this in the new year, still things that you should probably be working on. Number two, revamp your messaging. Now, here's the thing about this one. Here's the thing about revamping your messaging. Your messaging comes from your offer. The way that I define offer, I define it a bit broader than most people, right? When I talk about your offer, I also mean your inside your offer is your signature process. This is what we call it, your signature process. So not only what you're selling, but also how do you do it? What's the process? So if I told you that I'm going to build your business to 10K per month, right, with a business that you don't need any sales calls, you don't need any team, and you can build the business with just one email per day, for example, that's a pretty good promise, right? It's clear, it's specific, you can imagine what that is. So if I told you that, you'd probably think, okay, that sounds really nice, but I'm not going to say yes because I don't really know how. Of course I want that, but I don't really know how. So your process is really important. Being able to break down, how do you actually get them there, right? That's a pretty important part of it. What we build is a signature process, meaning it's your process that nobody else has because you made it. And your process is specifically designed because you are the expert. Your process is specifically designed to be the best, more reliable, more desirable, faster process, the best way to get the result in your marketplace for your specific niche, right? That is your signature process. Within the signature process, which is usually like 3 phases to get that result, you will have multiple unique mechanisms, which is your own unique thing that you have created and you help people, or you help people use in their whatever you are, in their goals, their fitness goals, their mindset goals, their business goals, or whatever it is, whatever niche you're in, that doesn't exist anywhere else, that gets the result, right? and you create that yourself because you are the expert and the thought leader that's able to do this. Right, so that's the signature process and the unique mechanisms. That's part of the messaging. And the final part of the messaging is the aspirational identity. Who do they become on a long enough time period once they're in your world, right? Who do they become? And most of the time, who are you aspiring to become as well? And most of the time, they're aligned, right? So these three things create your messaging, right? Your signature process, your unique mechanisms, and your aspirational identity. If you can get super clear on those three things and they're unique to your offer, you now have big ideas that you can sell people in your marketing. Because here's the thing that most coaches get wrong. Most coaches are amateurs and they do not market. All they do is post content, right? Hitting post on an Instagram post is not marketing. That's just creating content. But we're trying to market because we're trying to make sales. Marketing is very, specifically knowing the outcome that we're trying to have most of the time psychologically on the reader or the viewer, and then creating and crafting something that actually has that result. Most of the time in your content, in your marketing content, you're trying to sell your prospects on specific ideas. So once they're bought in the ideas, they have to work with you. This is why all these things are unique. A unique offer, unique signature process, unique mechanisms, your unique aspirational identity. Because once they're bought in on these things that you've created, then they have to work with you because they can't get that anywhere else. So your unique mechanism. So let's say you have a way to help someone get a result better than anyone else, right? So one of my clients has a unique mechanism that does really well in fitness, calls it the 2-in-1 method. It's a 2-in-1 nutrition method around nutrition and not having to track too much, not having to be too caught up in the tracking all the time, everything else, having more freedom. So when he, in his content, is able to build context around this unique mechanism, he's able to talk about it, he's able to show it working in real life with himself, with his clients and stuff. What he's doing is he's selling people on the idea of the 2-in-1 method. Once they're sold on the idea of the 2-in-1 method, guess what? They can't work with anyone else because no one else has the 2-in-1 method. This is how you get pre-sold leads who want to work with you and no one else. So once your offer's clearer, now we can start to revamp your messaging around that using those pieces inside the offer. And then of course that revamps everything downstream. This is why these are the game changers, right? Because the offer and then the messaging revamps everything downstream because your content's going to be revamped, even your sales process, whatever that may be, is going to be revamped. Your lead magnet's going to be revamped. Any offer that you put out is going to shift, all because of these core things that your business is built around. So that's number 2. Let's get into number 3. Let me turn you around 1 second. Boop. Number 3 is upgrade your model. Upgrade your business model to actually be able to have the capacity for the growth that we're going to have. Turn you around again. So here's the thing with the business model. Let me see if I can put you up now. Yes, I can actually move you a little bit. There you go. So here's the thing with the business model, right? I work with a lot of coaches, and over this year, by the way, I've worked with about 120 coaches, so I've seen a lot. And one of the biggest things that I see holds people back is number one, they've got a model that they're delivering their service in a way that doesn't allow them to actually get to any of the goals that they actually wanted to hit. And often they get, they as they start growing, things get harder and harder. Things sometimes even get more painful in their life. They're having to sacrifice more, and it's hard. It's very, very hard to grow into pain. If you're associating more growth with more pain, more growth with less time, more growth with less, time doing things that you love outside of work, or you're doing it in a way that you don't like, you're not going to want to grow. So if you do all of these, you're going to be prepared to grow. So we need to have the capacity for that. So number 1, I would say, is look at the money that you want to make in 2025. Look at the money that you want to make next year. And it doesn't have to be there now, but look at the model that you will need to have by the end of 2025. And sometimes that shifts, right? So you don't just go straight into the model. Let's say you want to quadruple your business. You probably don't need that model right now. It will take some time. But look at the model that you're going to need to have. So with a single tier offer that most people have, it's just, most coaches have been told, only have one offer, one price point, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's not much flexibility, and you're probably not going to be able to do as much as you could. So what I suggest is the multi-tier offer. So the multi-tier offer is one offer. So you only have to deliver one thing. You only have to market one thing, talk to one avatar. It's one offer, right? But there's multiple tiers of access. So generally that might be eventually, once it's all built out, which takes months and months and months because you don't do it all in one go. But once it's all built out, you have a low tier, a mid tier, and a high tier, right? So this is helpful for your delivery because you can now make more and you can serve more people and everything else. But because right now, let's be honest, if you're watching this video, capacity is probably not the biggest thing in your mind right now. You want to hit capacity and then you want to probably solve that problem at that point. Here's the thing. Upgrading your model can actually upgrade the amount of sales you can make and the amount of money that you can make from your current clients as well. And the multi-tier offer does that, because let's look at it. Most people have a single tier offer, right? And usually because it's single tier and they haven't got anything else, haven't got any other price points, they're usually having to go in the middle with price point, in the middle with their delivery as well. Sometimes they want to do more, sometimes they want to do less, but they're kind of just in the middle with everything because they've only got one. Most of the time, people start to do a little bit too much delivery for the price that they're doing for that as well, because they've only got this one tier. If you have a multi-tier offer, or let me just tell you about the way that we build multi-tier offers. We build multi-tier offers in this way. We have a low tier, or we often call it the community tier, that's optimized for a very, very easy yes for them. And it's optimized for not too much delivery cost on your side, so you can make these sales very, very, very easily. We can even break these down to weekly pricing, no commitment, and we can get many, many, many people through the door with no sales calls. Then we've got your mid-tier, which is probably the tier that you've currently got at the moment, like the normal coaching tier. And then we've got your highest elite tier, or whatever you want to call it, where it's either going to be done for you things for them, where we can improve the lifetime value by, showing them things and then actually doing it for them on the top end. I've got a productivity coach who does that. He teaches them systems and everything else, and then he gives them the option for him to just build it for them, and makes a lot more money per client if they do that. But not everyone does that, right? Of course. Or it can be much more deeper intimacy, one-to-one calls, even in-person stuff here and there, whatever it needs to be, right? This is the best model for growing and the best model for being able to get ready for huge growth in 2025, because it means that you can, especially nowadays with the amount of the lack of trust that a lot of people have for online coaching and stuff like that, you can have a tier that's optimized for easy yeses and you can constantly make sales. Inside your business, when you're constantly making these sales, that's when they can actually build trust with you, because now they're getting really close to you and they're seeing how good you are. Then they upgrade to the one-to-one coaching or whatever one that middle tier is, and then a tiny percentage, 5% of your audience, your clients, maybe 10% of your clients, upgrade to that highest tier and pay you 5 times what anyone else is paying you to get super intimate with you, or for you to take some of the work off their plate. What this does is way more sales, way more upgrades, and way more money per client on average, because we've got those top 10% of people paying us 5 to 10 times more than anyone else, and we're able to find those people and have that long-term relationship with them, right? Much better than just everyone paying the same exact amount, even though there are going to be people in your audience that would never pay that, and there's going to be people that would like to pay way, way, way more. So upgrade your model for growth in 2024. Currently, the things that we've sorry about the noise of my chair. Currently, the things that we've gone over are huge. Your offer, your messaging, and your model. Even if you just change these 3 things only, even if you turn the video, it's getting pretty long, this video. I wouldn't be surprised if you turned it off right now and you just did these things, you'd already be in a hugely better position. By the way, if you go through my videos that are already on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of things around all of those 3 things, because they are the big, big, big needle movers that need to be focused on. So you're going to be able to get a lot more help on those. Anyway, there's still 2 more. Where are we? 4, generate some customers. Let's talk about this. So what are customers? So let me get in frame. Most coaches only ever think about clients. But inside the Align Creator, we think about clients and customers. So how do we differentiate the two? Clients are people that are paying you and you're working with them long term and they're paying you long term, right? Customers are people that have paid for a one-off thing and they've got a one-off thing from you. You don't owe them ongoing support. You don't owe them anything like that. They've bought one thing from you, a product, right? Here's the thing. Most coaches don't do that at all, right? They only create clients and they only sell their main single tier offer, their main thing. The problem that this creates, especially in this kind of climate right now where there's a lot of, where there's a big lack of trust in most marketplaces because most people have been burnt before, blah, 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 and there's a lot of people to compete with. The problem that this creates is, well, it forces your prospects to make a huge leap. It forces your prospects to go from watching your free stuff along with, watching loads of other people's free stuff, to then jumping into like a 1, 2, or 3K program, right? Making that huge leap of faith. That is the only very small handful of you, like a very, very, very small percentage of your audience are ever going to make that leap. Because it's a scary leap, right? So what we do is we also generate customers. We turn the stuff that's already in your program, the stuff that you've already created for clients, the stuff that you've already got, we turn it into digital products or micro offers. Sometimes it's not exactly digital products. Sometimes it's like a small piece of coaching, maybe like a one-on-one call to do a certain thing or whatever else. There's a couple of ways to do it, but let's just say we turn it into a digital product and then we make that offer to your audience. We make that offer to your audience, and because it's a small little jump, and most audiences, they're not used to jumping on sales calls or everything like that, but they are used to buying something under £100 and clicking buy now. Amazon, we've got Amazon to thank for that, right? So they're used to that. They're very used to buying things in this way. It allows us to make more offers to your audience in different ways to solve different problems because it's just a small thing. They're able to click buy now. And we have now, let's say that you do that, let's say you've got 2,000 followers and then 10 people click buy now that week as you do that campaign for that specific micro offer. You now have 10 people that are the highest intent leads possible right now because they've already shown you how much intent they have because they've already spent money with you to solve the exact problem that you solve in your big program, right? So we generate customers and then we converse with them. We find out why they bought it. We find out what their goals are, and then we upsell them to become clients, right? Now, especially with everything else, brand new offer, or not necessarily brand new, but improved offer, improved messaging, and improved model, right? Well, at least the first two, we're going to be in a very good spot now if these two are improved to test out the new messaging, to test out the new angle, and to run it with some micro offers to generate customers, generating customers that are going to close now or generating customers that are going to close, down the line. Because if you get used to this, in 12 months' time, you might have generated 100 or 200 customers, right? And these customers are going to be the best people to actually be able to sell to be able to go and converse with, and to be able to try and find out why they bought that thing and try and upsell them. Actually he's not a client of mine, he's a close friend of mine who's a fitness coach, and he's run a micro offer. It's a super simple micro offer. It's like a 75 slash £99 thing, depending on when they bought, for a 6-week program, altogether a group program, pretty simple micro offer. But, after not, maybe making one sale here, one sale there, I think he made about 15 sales in a week. Many of those people, they started talking about that 6-week thing because that was a really good way to articulate what he does. In that conversation, they upgraded to one-to-one anyway. So he made more one-to-one sales during this week of selling this smaller thing than maybe any other time this year. And he made at least about 10 people buying the £60 or £75 to £99 thing who are then going to be building trust with him specifically because they're inside his world. What better place to build trust with them than inside the world? And then that he's going to be able to make the next natural offer to them to actually turn them into clients, right? So generating some customers now is going to be a very good time, especially if you're watching this now, as like around the time that I'm actually recording this. We've got Black Friday coming up. You can use that. Pretty good time when your audience are probably going to be used to clicking buy now already. Final one. Turn you around again. Craft your conversion system, right? So once all of that is in place, let's just assume it's all in place, right? Once all of that is in place, you can now start thinking about crafting your conversion system. So most coaches, I say it all the time, they're amateurs, right? They have a hard time because they are literally just amateurs. They just throw shit at a wall and they see what sticks. They have no process. Even when something works well, they don't lock it in and turn that into the process. They move on to the next thing and they continue to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. Now that we have your offer, your messaging, the model doesn't really change this too much, but let's just talk about the rest. Your offer, your messaging locked in and on point. You've got ideas to sell them. Remember that one? We've got specific ideas that we're able to sell them. And we've got, we've ran a couple of micro offers and we've seen what's actually working to convert your leads or audience or followers into customers. We now have all of the data we need to create a really powerful conversion system. Okay, so inside the Align Creator, we create something called the indoctrination funnel. It is a funnel with the multiple offers designed to indoctrinate your followers or the people in your world at whatever level they're starting at, right? So we have something for your followers to become leads, and that indoctrinates them and sells them psychologically on the exact ideas. Remember we spoke about that? The exact ideas that we need them to buy into to then become a raving fan of yours and want to buy from you and no one else. And then we make them a micro offer that is the natural next step after having just sold them on the idea that we did do on the lead magnet that we got them onto, right? We sell them on the micro offer. They go through the micro offer. Then we sell them on, they're already in our email list. We can already have a conversation with them and we already run the Align sales system to start to continuously try and convert them. But then finally, we make them a core offer, a client offer that's the perfect lead on from what they've just gone through already inside our micro offer to then turn them into a client, right? With everything you already know, your improved offer, your improved messaging, the micro offer and the products that you've already been able to sell during these 6 weeks, you can start to craft this conversion system, craft this funnel now to be able to be launched now, and then to have a funnel that all you need to do on your side for the rest of the year, because these things are evergreen, they work for a very, very long time. You now have a funnel that all you need to do on your side is focus on driving new people into the funnel, and then the funnel does the job while you sleep. One of the things we also do in the Align Creator is we install the email sales system as well. So once they've come through and they've got even just to the first step, we then start to automatically sell them on stuff that we already know is going to sell and make sales on autopilot without having to do anything else, which is pretty cool. But now you've got this process, your job to build this business becomes 10 times easier because you're not just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. You're not just like hoping people want to buy from you. You've got this process that works time and time again, and all you need to do is drive people into that, and that's all you need to kind of strategize around. So they are the 5 things. Let's just recap. Let's go backwards. Craft your conversion system, generate some customers, upgrade your model, revamp your messaging, and optimize your offer. Boom. That is everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, if you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe, all of those things. And down below in the description, there is a 24-minute training where I allow you to steal the entire aligned system, which is basically the model and the system that we use to build businesses to 10K plus. It's all down below. If you go down, you can grab that video. It's not even on YouTube, it's elsewhere. So go through, grab that. And anyway, hope you enjoyed the video.